It's hard to believe that my time here as a student is coming to an end. I have spent many years here as first an undergraduate student, and now I'm soon to finish with my master's degree in applied communication studies. Going to school as a non-traditional student has not been easy, but it has been well worth it. It's been something that I have definitely not taken for granted, and I feel that my experience here has meant more to me than it did as a traditional student would have. And that is only just because of my personality type and my life experiences as I've come to understand. And so I just want to take a few minutes and reflect on what my education experience has been like and how it has influenced me and how I see myself using it in the future. So with that being said, I want to talk about what my idea on communication was before I came and what it is now. If you were to read my autoethnography that I just completed for my master's project, many of these these questions will be answered because I do follow my journey, because the transition from what I used to know to what I know now is a big jump. When I first came into this department, communication just meant talking. There was no purpose behind it. It was just moving of your mouth and sound and words coming out. That was communication to me. I understand now that communication is much more. There's power in communication. It can make or break a relationship. It's not just what we say, how we say it, how it affects others. It includes our nonverbal behaviors. It includes, it's a process. Communication is a process that doesn't just happen. As I said, it takes effort, and there's really purpose behind it. The thing that hasn't changed, as I said, and I still believe this, is that there is great power in communication. The big difference is I understand now what the capability of communication has behind it, because we can do so much with it, or we can do so little with it, depending on how we want to really apply it to our lives. Hence, this is applied communication studies. The most meaningful experience I've had since I began here in 2011, which has consisted of a lot of memorable moments, but for me, my trip to Paris with my communication course that was led by Dr. Mariville, when we went there in May of 2012, that was the most meaningful learning experience. First, it was the first time as a mother and a wife going someplace by myself for that extended amount of time and so far away. So I'm having to rely on either myself 100% or people who at the time were mostly strangers to me, or I didn't have much of a history with them. There were good times and there were challenging times as I was there, but I built and created a lot of wonderful relationships that I feel are lifetime friendships. It helped me to understand that when there was this experience where I got left in the Louvre, the big, huge museum, and I was furious and angry. And I was lost. I had to navigate my way back to the hotel. I didn't speak French, and when I got there, one of the group leaders or self-assessed group leaders, I started yelling, and I expected her to yell back because that's what I had grown up with. But she didn't yell back. She calmly turned to me, and she, at the time, I don't know what theories that she talked about, but she was very calm, and she talked about how she understood why I could be upset, and she validated my feelings, and it really shut me down quickly it shut down the yelling, I would say. It took a little bit longer for me to understand what really happened because my emotions were so strong. It helped me to understand that I can't control others. I can't make them do and behave like I want them to. And at the same time, that's not a healthy practice anyway, to try and want to control others. And I found that you can resolve conflict without yelling and screaming. And it really helped, this whole experience of traveling there helped me to understand that communication really does play a role in building international relationships, different levels of relationships. It really helps us, as we become more mindful communicators, understand ourselves and our communicative patterns. And it really was the first time that I saw the idea that I could consider reacting differently than I did before. I often use so that is my meaningful experience. And I want to talk a little bit about the department mission statement: to foster the co-creation of better social worlds through positive communication. This has, I have come to respect and try to own this statement for my own personal life, in that I find I speak up for more people more. I want to play a bigger role in the world in sharing positivity. I think that's why I want to teach, so that I can have that platform to influence others and spread this message of positivity and do my part. It's helped me as a mother and as a wife and as a daughter and as a sibling. It's helped me in all of my relationships as a friend, because I find that I can, that choosing to communicate positively, or choosing to, or recognizing that you can play a role in making this a better world, because this world needs to be better, really gives you power. And for me, it's allowed me to understand that I have the capacity to do good, even if it's on a small level. But I also believe that on a small level can become bigger, and it can evolve and really change people for the better. And the more we do this, I really believe in the domino effect. So I can do my part. And I take that with me too as I leave this department, which makes me a little emotional, because it has meant so much to me. And knowing that this has been a safe place, a place of learning and a place of growth and understanding, is that now I have the responsibility to be an example of positive communication. I have the responsibility to share this message with others and try to be an example. As I learned in Paris, I can't tell people how to act, but my responsibility lies in that I can be an example. And hopefully that example, like Rebecca's example in Paris, and someone who I love and I'm close to now, but hopefully I can be that example to someone else, and they'll stop and go, I could handle that differently. I can handle that better. And maybe they'll learn and be able to look at their lives and make that change. Because I truly take away from this, my biggest thing is that transformation is possible. I mean, education at any grade or any age is possible, but making changes to who we are, to our core, to our beliefs and our values, it's possible. And it's necessary if it turns us to a more positive place in our lives. And so I just want to leave that in this and say I've had some wonderful experiences. My idea of communication has changed for the better. And so I just, as always, encourage other people to find their voice, find their positive voice, and use it in a way that helps to make this world a better place. And let's build each other up and make sure we're not breaking one another down.